Welcome to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. I'm Jenny Thomas, your co-host, and we have our host, Jupiter Joe Thomas.
That's right.
Today's show is a good one, and we're talking about your money and did it retire before you did?
So did your money already retire? Think about that. Think about that question today, folks. You know, is your money sitting on the beach in a lounge chair having a Corona right now? Well, I mean, just ask yourself that question, because so many people tell me about this emergency fund that costs $100,000. Jenny, what emergency fund costs $100,000?
I don't know.
I have clients come in or call me and say, you know, on my life, I have people tell me, I've had this money sitting there for 12 years doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Folks, if you have $100,000 or more sitting somewhere earning no interest, this is what this show's for you. Okay, and we're going to tell you why you should make that money work for you. In fact, every penny you have should be at work. And we were talking about it off mic, labeling your money, right?
Yeah, so each bucket of money should have a job.
Should have a job.
Labeled.
Should be labeled. You know, this is retirement. This is savings. This is checking. You know, this is for the kids. This is for the grandkids. This is for retirement income. This is to buy the RV. Label it. Years ago, we used to do this with clients. We would say, hey, this is for your retirement house. Mm-hmm. This is for your vacation home. And people would literally put money away in an account to do that. Okay. So I just, want to talk today about, people who just basically, so they have this lump sum of money. You've got $100,000. Let's use $100,000. Whether it's $100,000, $200,000, doesn't matter. It's sitting there in a checking account. It could be sitting in a savings account earning nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean maybe you're getting 1/10 of 1%. You know, that point, the decimal point, is not a good thing. That means you're earning less than 1%, okay? 0.10. It's sitting there, it's doing nothing. Well, if you're going to retire and you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s and you're going to use this money down the road for income, put it to work for you. Even if you're in your 40s or 50s, put this money to work for you. Turn it into something that's going to earn interest. Either one of two things you're going to use the money for. Later, so you want the money to grow, goes from 100 up, or you want to take that interest that you earn and live off it. So those are the two options. Now, I'm going to give you real numbers today based on our interest rates as of today. Now, interest rates change. Our interest rates change all the time. We shop the rate for you, so we'll be able to tell you exactly what the rate is on that day. Mm-hmm. As we're filming this show today, we did some research this morning, and our 5-year fixed rate is about 6%. Mm-hmm. So let's do the math. On $100,000, you're going to earn $6,000 a year interest.
Each year.
Now, you can do one of two things. If you don't touch the money, in 5 years, it's worth over $30,000 of interest. 30,000 plus. I'm not going to do the compounding. I'm going to make it so simple for people. You put in 100, it'll be worth $130,000 plus. You just made $30,000 in your money.
Wow.
Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Not a question in the world. No fees, no charges. Guaranteed. At the end of the 5 years, they give you 100% of all your money back plus your interest. You get back $130,000.
Wow. Okay.
Or you can take that $30,000 and live off it. And we send you $500 a month starting in 30 days. You get that check for 5 years. Mm-hmm. At the end of 5 years, they give you back your original $100,000. So you can either grow your money, let it build, or you can take it. Now let's just do the math on $200,000. That's $12,000 a year interest. No principal. Okay, that's $1,000 a month interest that we can send you every month to live on. Mm-hmm. And your money's working for you. Your money's working. It's not sitting there doing nothing. Okay. At the end of 5 years, if you don't touch the interest, you let it grow, you're going to have $260,000. $260,000. You just made $60,000 in your money. Let's do $300,000. It's worth looking at. Now you could have an IRA, you could have a 401k, you could have a pension plan, you could put regular cash in this. Any amount of money you have from any source, we can put in this account. Mm-hmm. Okay, IRA, 401k, Roth, whatever it is, we can put it. Doesn't matter what the label is, we can pump it in here. Okay, $300,000 at 6% interest is $18,000 a year. That's not bad. Mm-hmm. Okay, in 5 years, this is the best thing. You made $90,000. In fact, I know, because compounding of interest, you're going to have over $100,000 in there.
Wow.
You're going to go from $300,000 to $400,000. Guaranteed, not a question mark. This is what the power of fixed annuities do for you. This is just one product we do for clients. And the reason we're talking about this today is if you got an account that's sitting around, an emergency fund, $100,000 in it, $200,000 in it, and it's doing nothing. Mm-hmm. And when I say nothing, even if you're earning 1% or 2%, that's nothing. you know, versus making 6% on your money guaranteed. And by the way, what's the benefit? You lock this rate in for the next 5 years. Your rate is locked in for 5%. 6% for 5 years. You don't have to worry about interest rates going up and down. So here's what people play. They play this game right now. Well, you know, Joe, I can go get a CD at a bank right now for 4.5% for 6 months, and my money's liquid. Your money's not liquid. It's in there for 6 months. Okay. And at the end of 6 months, you have no clue what the interest rate's going to be. Right? Here you know for the next 5 years. Now we have 1 year fixed, 2 year fixed, 3 year fixed, 4 years fixed, 5 years fixed, all the way up to 20 years fixed. I can lock in your rate. You want a rate? I can lock it in for as long. I had a gentleman come in his 40s and he locked into a 10-year fixed. Why? He says, I think this is great. I'm getting over 6% of my money and I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's why people do this. You know,
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. You know, do the math, folks. If you're not earning $6,000 a year on $100,000, if you're not earning $12,000 on $200,000, if you're not earning $18,000 a year on $300,000, give us a call. Go to jupiterjoe.com. Give me a call, 561-743-0999. And by the way, these rates are across the country. So if you're listening on YouTube right now to our podcast and you say, hey, this guy's in Florida. You know, let me tell you something. We have every country, every state in the country, and every annuity in the country. The rate will change a little bit depending on what state you're in, because these products are state specific, which means that they will have rules we have to adhere to. We have to get licensed in that state to do business with you. And we're going to get you the best rate there is. We'll tell you on the phone. We have, you know, I had the gentleman this morning shopping rates. We have 54 pages of rates from 1 year all the way down to 20 years. We don't have one contract, one, you know, annuity contract that has this. We have 10 or 20 in that. No, and we'll show you the best all the way down. And now, why would you take a lower amount? You may want a specific company, you know, that's like with a higher rating. Most of our ratings, we'll put A or better in there, but let's say you want an A+. We can put A+ in there and it will shift the rate a little bit. So this is shopping for your fixed rate of interest.
So question. So when you go to the banks, like someone who's familiar with a CD, are you only getting the CD rate for that specific bank?
Yeah.
They're not shopping every single bank.
No. Bank is going to only do if it's Bank of America or if it's, and by the way, let me explain something. The bigger the bank, the less the rate is. Okay. If they're a big giant bank like Bank of America or Chase, they're giving you less interest than a smaller bank does. Okay.
You would think it'd be more, wouldn't you?
No, it should be, but it's not, because they're going to pay you less because they're Bank of America or they're Chase. They're going to pay you less. Now, it does work the same with the insurance companies. The bigger insurance companies will pay you less because they don't need the business as much as the smaller companies, but your safety valve is still there. You have the claims paying ability of the insurance company. If you have an A-rated carrier, your money's very safe and it's very secure, and you don't have to worry about that. You know, the biggest reasons and issues with money doing nothing is you lose purchasing power.
What does that mean?
Inflation.
Okay.
Well, something that used to cost you, $4 is now $8.
Like eggs, maybe?
Like eggs. Yeah, like eggs, exactly. They used to be $4 and now they're like $12. I go shopping a lot for Mom now, and eggs happen to be like $10 for a dozen.
I got to get the happy eggs.
The happy eggs. Oh, they're very happy. They're very happy. They're like a buck an egg, but they're happy, So you lose purchasing power, to inflation. Here's the benefits to a fixed annuity that these rates, why I'm telling you about this. Number one, you lock in the rate now for as long as you want. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I will tell you the sweet spot is 3 to 5 years. If you can hold your money out for 3 years or 5 years and then get it all back at that period of time, that's the sweet spot, 3 to 5 years. Let's talk about something called tax deferral. Okay. This is extremely important. So if you have a CD at a bank and they're paying you, I'll make up a number, $5,000 a year in interest. Whether you live on that interest, you take it and put it in your pocket and spend it, or you reinvest it with the CD, they're going to send you a 1099, a tax form. You have to pay tax on that money. It's earned income. Guess what? With an annuity, you don't get a 1099 until you take the money. So if you leave your money there for 5 years, you're tax deferring your investment for a later date. So you're going to earn interest on your interest, and interest on the money you would have paid tax on is triple compounding. I know it sounds complicated. It's not. Okay. So you're deferring taxes for a later date. That's a big deal. Now, if you take the interest and you stick it in your pocket, it's taxable money. Not a big deal, you know?
So if you let your money sit there for the 5 years at the fixed rate, you're going to have more money because you're letting it grow for longer and you're not taking it.
Yeah. I'm going to just get a little complicated, but if you're in a 20% tax bracket and you have money in a CD, you're losing 20% of your interest to a CD. So if you're getting 1%, you're really only getting 0.80, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then you're not keeping up with inflation. So there's a lot to this money stuff than just meets the eye. Oh, I'm getting 5% or I'm getting 3%. There's a lot to it, but people kind of superficially just forget about that, you know?
So right now you're listening to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. We come to you each and every week on Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. and also on Saturday mornings at 7:30. Joe Thomas, he's a financial advisor. You've been doing it a very long time. And if you'd like to talk with Joe, give us a call, 561-743-0999. You can book your free consultation. Go to jupiterjoe.com.
Let's talk about liquidity. Liquidity is very important. So here's the big reason that you may not want to put all your eggs in one basket, even in an annuity. You know, people say, well, I'm going to tie the money up for a long period of time, Joe. 2 years. That's not a long time. But let's say they say, 3 years is too long to tie your money up because I don't have access to all of it. Well, very few financial products in America allow you to have liquidity and a good rate of return. In fact, there's nothing out there that does that unless it's in a money market or a checking account. And you're not going to get a good rate of interest. You're going to get a very low interest rate because it's liquid. If it's not liquid, like an annuity, then you have to follow their rules. The rules are this. Either you can take out your interest every year. So if it's 6%, you can take out 6% a year, no fee, no charge. If you exceed 6%, a lot of them let you go to 10%. So 10% on 100 grand is 10 grand a year. And I say to people, hey, if you put this $100,000 in here, do you need more than $10,000 a year? Oh, no. I just want to know if there's an emergency comes up.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing, liquidity. That's the difference between a CD and an annuity that's fixed. The other thing is, let's talk about this. This is important. Avoiding probate. So annuities do avoid probate in most states. Florida specific, it does avoid probate. Some states we have to look it up for you. Avoiding probate means that if you die and the money goes to somebody, they're going to get all that money without it going through a probate system through the state. Okay. No tax, no fees on it. It goes right to that person. The person will pay the tax on it, but they won't pay the probate fees on it.
Which is what you want to avoid. You don't want probate.
You don't want to probate your money, right? You want to go to a named person, and that person gets the money without it being probatable. Now, certain states have probate and some don't. It just depends. Florida is one that doesn't,
So, question: if you had a 401k and you don't have a beneficiary, like if you're the husband and you don't have your spouse, your wife as the beneficiary, that would possibly go through probate?
No, that's probably not going to go probate because they got federal tax on that. So it's not going to be. Now, if you didn't have somebody's name on it, then it might go through probate. That's a legal question. So we don't do that. The other thing you've got to understand too is about protecting your money. This does this better than your CD. If you have a CD checking account, not a 401k, not an IRA, but just regular money at a bank. Okay, checking, savings. Money market, CD, those 4 items can be attached by somebody legally if they're suing you. Lawyers love those because they can attach them, they can get the money, and they can claim it, okay, if they're awarded a lawsuit. Well, with an annuity, it works just like it does with an IRA or 401k, where the government does not allow them to get the money because it's basically a retirement account. Now in Florida, we have state-specific laws that say Section 222 allows your money to be protected from lawsuits. So you can hit somebody, they can't get to that money because it's a named beneficiary and it's your retirement account. They can't touch that money. So these are reasons that people would buy an annuity over a CD, a savings account, a money market. Yes, you have liquidity in those other items, but you earn less money, and basically, you don't have the protection levels that you do with an annuity. So just kind of give you a quick synopsis, and we would talk to you about this specifically when we talk to you.
And I think a good first step is just having a simple conversation. And I think that's why a lot of people will call our office here and they just want to have some of the answers to the questions they have. They have a 401k, they're trying to retire. They want to make sure their spouse is okay if something happens to them.
That's a good point.
And I think especially in Florida, there's certain things that Floridians know, homeowners association, like there's a lot of costs down here.
Yeah.
And you really have to be prepared for that.
So we got a call last week from somebody who wants to move down from Chicago to Florida, right? And they said, Joe, is it really as crazy as we're hearing that the numbers are changing on house prices? It's expensive. Everything's doubled where it was,
Yeah.
And my opinion is the Jupiter area, the Palm Beach County area, happens to be one of the hottest areas in the country. It still is, right? You got a lot of people moving here from New York, New Jersey, of course, I guess now Chicago, and also from California. They move here for reasons. But the other reason you may want to talk to us is because we can help you protect your money. It sounds funny. And you may transition your money from your 401k, from your IRA, from your banks, and we'll show you how to do that in certain instances. It depends on what you want to do, right? It's all about the goal for clients. What's your goal? How old are you? When do you want income? Do you want it to grow? Do you want to pass it to your kids? Are you more interested in not touching your principal and just living off the interest? Those are the questions we ask you so we can fit the product to your needs, not my needs, right? Well, it's just putting the money to work for you, really, Jenny. It's the bottom line. I mean, if you have money that's sitting around doing, I can't tell you how many calls I've gotten over the last, I'll say 12 months, but it's 12 years. People will tell me that they've had money sitting there and they're Joe, I've been reluctant to move this money. We're going to buy a house. That's the big one I hear. Now, if you're going to buy a house, don't invest this money with me, right? If you're going to buy a house in 10 years, well, maybe we invest the money. But if you're going to buy the house in 6 months or 12 months, don't call us and say, I want to put the money in 6 months and pull it out. Then you're going to lose money. You don't do that.
Do you think people who have sold their home recently, do they keep that in their checking or savings account and just leave it there?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, people retire and they leave lump sums of money in their account. They sell a house, they leave $200,000 or $300,000 sitting there they're going to figure out what to do with it, and the money's just sitting there doing nothing. Look, let me put your mind at ease. If you're not getting 6% fixed guaranteed interest on your money for the next 5 years, okay, where you can either let the money grow and daily compound, okay, and you can take interest anytime you want. You just got to make a phone call to us. Hey, I want the money to start, Joe. So either leave it and grow, or you take the interest. If you don't have that product right now, give us an opportunity to earn your business. Let us show what we know about these. They're called multi-year guaranteed annuities. They're a specific type of an annuity called a fixed annuity. It's locked in. You buy it through only an insurance company can issue this. Now you might say, well, I can go to my bank. Well, you can go to your bank. Banks will only have specific annuities that the bank allows, that they have a pre-arrangement with to sell certain annuities. We have everybody's annuities.
Yeah.
The benefit to that is we're shopping the highest rate. We have one right now. As of today, folks, because disclosure rates adjust, okay? They adjust. We get every time we just look on the sheet and see what the rate is. Right now we have one that's like 6.25, 6.25%. Now that one you can't take interest out of, right? You got to let it sit there for 5 years and just grow. That's for somebody who just wants to grow their interest. But if you do take interest on that one, it goes down to 6.05. So 6% in your money safe, secure, and guaranteed. That's a pretty big deal right now. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big difference, especially if it's just been sitting doing nothing, where you can actually be taking money from it if you do want some extra.
Let's say you're 65 years of age and you're struggling a little bit. You need a little extra money and you got $100,000 sitting in this emergency fund doing nothing. Stick it in here. You're getting $6,000 a year interest. That's $500 a month sent to you every month. And at the end of 5 years, you get all your money back. Okay. Every penny you put in is guaranteed and given back to you. It's not a bad deal.
So after the 5 years, then you decide what you want to do with that lump sum.
So here's what happens on the renewal on these annuities, whether it's a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year fix. They're going to send you a 30-day notice. And it's going to say, hey, Jenny, do you want your money back? Or, hey, here's our new renewal rate. And they're going to tell you what the new renewal rate is in 5 years. And most likely it's going to be close to what they're giving you. Now, it might not be 6%. It might be 5% or 5.25%. And you have an option to either take that money, lump sum back, or renew it with them. The other thing is we're going to call you and say, hey, you know what, guys? We got a better rate for you. We have something new with a different company that will fit your needs better, and we'll show you what the options are. So you have 3 choices when it does renew.
Perfect. And, I was just thinking a lot of our listeners, they may not have a copy of your book, The Retirement Know-It-All. And I think this is a great place to learn a little bit more about you. And you have in your book, the good, the bad, and the ugly about annuities. And it talks all about that. And I think it's a great start for some people who want to just see what you're about and what your book is. So
Yeah, we just picked up a lot of new books because people do request it all the time. And we'll be glad to send you one. I think the good, the bad, the ugly of annuities, when I wrote that 8 or 9 or 10 years ago, whatever, was just to kind of give people the idea that there are some really good products out there annuity-wise, and there are some really bad ones.
Right.
Okay. We do not sell the bad ones. Okay.
Right.
Now, I've been licensed to sell variable annuities since literally a long time. Okay.
The 80s?
90s. Yeah, 80s and 90s. So, and they're not a bad product. It's just that you have to understand that there's a lot of fees to it, but there's a lot of upside potential. And it's also for a younger clientele, 30s, 40s, and 50s. We can do better most times with a fixed index annuity with an income rider, and we can outpace those products and give you a better option. But anyway, I want people to understand there are different annuities. There's not just, when we go on Brian Craig's great. And he says, Joe, he says, I didn't know there was so many choices of annuities. That's the problem. When you come to us, we're specialists. This is all we do, folks. We're not going to sell you stocks and bonds. We're not going to sell you mutual funds. We're not going to sell you CDs. We're not going to do your taxes. We're not going to, do your will or your trust. We don't do that stuff. We specialize. We just do annuities. That's it. There's a company down here in South Florida that says Just Trees. We should have a site that just says just annuities, because that's really all we do. And I know what I'm good at, and that's what I'm good at. I have clients every day sit across from me at my desk, and I'll say, "What'd you do for a living?" I was an engineer, a software engineer. I was we've had several doctors come in this last year. What do you think I know about doing that? Nothing. Not a thing. Yeah, I could sit across the desk and put a nice shirt on and a tie and a white coat and pretend to be a doctor, but that's about it.
That's also illegal.
It's illegal, right? Well, it doesn't stop people down here in South Florida. Remember,
Dr. Love.
Yeah, Dr. Love. There was that guy that he wanted to be a doctor. He was 19 years of age, and he was helping people. There was another one I talked about. There was not a kid, it was a grown man. He was running a dental office out of a storage bin in Fort Lauderdale. Now, who would go to a storage bin for a dentist?
Nuts.
Right? I don't want to go in the regular dentist, So anyway, folks, look, the thing we're talking about today is how to protect your money. How do you make your money better than what it's doing? If you're 50s and 60s and 70s, all your money should be working for you. There shouldn't be any stagnant money. Yes, you should have an emergency fund of $30 or $40 or maybe $50,000 sitting on the sidelines for that emergency that may pop up. If you're going to buy a car, buy a car. But put that money to work for you. Make it work where it's doing what you want. Either it's providing more income or it's growing for you. And it's going to be worth more money down the road. By the way, your kids are going to enjoy it, because if you don't use it, they'll use it. If it's growing, down the road, you leave it to a named beneficiary and it goes to them without a problem,
Get a second set of eyes on your retirement plan. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call, 561-743-0999. And make sure you check out our website, jupiterjoe.com.
Thank you so much for listening, folks.
We'll see you next time on the Jupiter Joe Money Show.